Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Lara Sturm.
And welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lara Sturm.
And I'm Josh Rohr. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Today is the 22nd, but we are releasing it on the 25th. So for all intents and purposes, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. I'm like, I wonder what the future me thinks right now.
The future you thinks, I should have trained 3 days ago.
Yeah, well, I'm going to train. So in your face, Josh Rohr.
In your face.
I did get an amazing Christmas card from you today that said, "Don't stop believing," with, Santa on it, which was just like the perfect Christmas card from Josh Rohr.
And the irony is we talked about Christmas gifts last week, and you said how gift certificates are
lame,
stupid and lame, and that's what I got you. So
so you were like,
no, I that just reinforced my decision to do that because, it's ironic.
Well, I just thought the year before there was the UPS man came to the gym and he had this box that jingled literally. And he's like, I don't know what this is in this box, but it's jingling. It's been jingling all day driving around. And it was a foot tambourine. It was the most random thing I could friggin' think of. And there was no clue of who it was actually from in there too, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's because last year you got me this random, it was like an arm slinky. So I had to get something random back. No, actually that was 2 years ago now because, or was it? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. But anyway, you guys got me this arm slinky, which I love, by the way, but it's so random. So I'm like, what is the most random thing I can get you guys? Let's go with a tambourine. Yes. And then I started searching and I'm like, ooh, there's a foot tambourine, even better.
Nice. There you go. Welcome. There you go. So in a future episode, you will talk about the gift that you received from me because it's going to be that awesome.
Correct. Oh, you mean future gift or the foot tambourine? Because I can talk about the foot the arm slinky.
No, the future gift that's coming your way. But the arm slinky is pretty random. Okay. You still use it?
When we bought the new house, it kind of not sure where it went. But I know it's around here somewhere. So when I find it, I will let everyone know.
There you go.
Yep. So, all right. Anyway, let's get on topic here. So we had an awesome 5 new followers on Instagram.
Woohoo!
Helena Krukowski, Will Johnson, Mazen Mo Ali, Dione Denges, and David Huckleby. Thank you guys for following us. We appreciate it.
Shout out. All right, so we have some news coming up at USA Powerlifting, which is pretty exciting when there's actually news. So there's 4 new divisions coming in 2021.
That is correct. Looks like we have the adaptive division, the para bench division, the MX division, and raw with wraps division. So some more opportunities for people that want to compete.
I am so excited about raw with wraps division.
Yeah.
I think there would be so many people that would do that if that was an option, and now that it's an option, woohoo!
Yeah, and I guess amazing. My thoughts with it is it's almost like the gateway drug to equip lifting. Exactly. just try these wraps out. I mean, it's not that really much different from raw, but you get to wear these wraps. Oh, now that you're wearing these wraps, why don't you just try this, loose squat suit too? I mean, it's just a little bit more.
Right.
So that's
you're in full gear. Next thing you know,
you're like, how'd I get here?
Next thing you know, someone's tricking you into putting on a bench shirt.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. But I do think it's, I guess from a personal standpoint, I know a lot of people that, like squatting with knee wraps, and, some have actually gone other places than USA Powerlifting so they can compete raw with wraps, even though our open division, you could just compete with, wraps with other lifters that are wearing gear, but, people want that specific division. So that's kind of, props to USA Powerlifting, I think, for kind of coming up with some of these divisions that, maybe there aren't a lot of people that want to compete there, but there are enough that it was worth, looking into, and I think it'd be good. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I kind of sat there for a second and went, oh, I could just do reps. Oh, but I kind of like a loose squat suit for support. Oh, if you like a loose squat suit for support, I might as well just do the whole thing. Yeah.
And you're back to where you were.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yep.
Oh, well. Sounded like a good idea.
Yep.
Well, and then I know in 2021 with some new divisions, some records are going to be retired.
Well, retired would be just the old women's weight class. The new divisions will have new records that can be set.
I know, but it's the records.
I don't know what you're saying. You're going to have to elaborate.
The records are getting, the old division records would be retired. Would they be translated at least into the new division to start with?
So there's no divisions being retired, just the 72 kilo weight class. These are adding divisions, not taking divisions away.
True. Okay, never mind.
Math is hard.
Math is hard.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard. And I'm not staying on top of all these things going on with the new weight classes and all that stuff, because I'm just like,
so the only weight class change I think we talked about before is the women's 72 kilo class is going away, and it's being replaced by the 69 kilo and 76 kilo. So the women's 72 kilo class is the only one that's quote unquote going to be retired. The rest are our new divisions or weight classes. So cool.
Good stuff.
Good talk.
Good talk. All right. So what else is going on in the powerlifting world?
So the only other thing, there's a new meet that just popped up today. It's going to be, I believe, February. Let me look up the calendar here because I don't want to say the wrong date. Sunday, February 21st. It's going to be the Georgia Winter Classic in Sewanee, Georgia. So that one just popped up on the calendar today. But also when that popped up, the Georgia State meet disappeared. So I think that's still a TBD of when that's going to be. So I guess the next one in Georgia is February 21st, and everything else is TBD. But hopefully we'll have some news on that soon and get that out to everybody. So I guess just for further clarification, if anybody has any questions about the 4 new divisions, there is a write-up on USAPowerlifting.com that has a lot more of the details and specifics. And there's also a Q&A page that you can look at where people have asked questions and they've been answered. And then in terms of the upcoming meets in Georgia, you can always check out USAPLGeorgia.com, and there's a list of those events as well.
Awesome. And you said that was in Sewanee.
Yep.
So north side.
North side, same place they had it's at I believe No Excuses CrossFit, the same place they had the whatever that meet just was. I can't remember. What was it called?
Yeah. Don't remember either.
Sewanee Holiday Havoc. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, got it. So
very nice.
Cool. Let's get to the powerlifting situation here, because I've been excited for this one.
The powerlifting situation. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So you can choose one of the following characters from one of the following Christmas movies to be a powerlifter. All right. Who would make the best powerlifter? A, Buddy the Elf from the movie Elf. I think he'd be a pretty good powerlifter. Or B, Ernest P. Worrell from Ernest Saves Christmas. Never saw it. The guy's kind of crazy though. I know, I never saw it. So apparently that's one of your favorite movies. And I know who Ernest is, but that's about it. Choice C, Clark W. Griswold from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, one of the best movies ever made. And
yes, it's a great movie.
He's kind of psychotic too. Psychotic people make kind of good powerlifters.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's true. Or choice D, Scott Calvin from The Santa Claus.
Okay.
Who would make the best powerlifter and why?
I'm going to give you my in-depth analysis here. So just at first glance, Buddy the Elf and Clark W. Griswold are kind of tall, lanky guys. So I would steer away from them just on the surface. Scott Calvin, which is played by Tim Allen, is kind of a shorter, not short, but shorter and a little bit more stocky. So he's kind of in the running. Ernest P. Worrell, he's kind of a shorter, like skinnier, like scrappy type guy. Which I'm going to tip my hat to Ernest P. Worrell. I'm going to say he would make the best power lifter, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail and actually read a couple of the comments that were on the Team Roar Instagram about this, because there were some other good arguments made. So I will make those arguments on their behalf first, but then I'm going to seal the deal with my argument. So Ironworks SG on Instagram says Clark Griswold, and the reason is dedication. He's committed to having I'm sorry. Let me start over. Dedication. There's different categories of the argument here. Dedication. He committed to having a good old-fashioned Christmas and saw it through. He showed the ability to meticulously stick to a plan for a delayed result, in parentheses, Christmas lights. Fiercely competitive. See the opening scene of that movie where he's like racing a semi-truck, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mental preparation. He practiced visualization techniques, the swimming pool scene. That's kind of funny because he's seeing the lady in the bikini out in the swimming pool that he's going to build. And great support system. Everyone needs an Ellen in their life. So that is, of the 4 movies listed, that's definitely the 4 characters listed, that, in my opinion, that's the best argument that was made on the Instagram. Okay. There was another argument made for a write-in, choice C, John McClane from Die Hard. There was also a very good argument there, but I'm not going to read that one. That was by Coach Zach Cooper. I agree with his analysis, but I'm not going to read it because that was not one of the 4 choices. But you guys can check out Team Roar on Instagram and read it for yourself. So getting into my argument. All right. We already said, Clark Griswold and Buddy the Elf are too tall, to be, if we're talking about the best competitive lifter. Not to say they couldn't be, but if we're picking somebody based off of, our checkoff sheet, I'm going to check them off. My runner up personally would be Scott Calvin from the Santa Claus, because he's kind of let me back up. Let me go through some more analysis. Buddy the Elf, like, he's a super happy-go-lucky guy, like doesn't get too upset ever. Pretty always positive, which is a good quality, but sometimes you need to be able to flip that switch and just kind of go to that dark place. And I don't think he's capable of doing that. Clark W. Griswold, I think he does have that switch where he gets really pissed off and can kind of just go ballistic.
He kidnapped the boxes when he didn't get his bonus.
So technically he didn't. That was Cousin Eddie.
Oh, that's right. Cousin Eddie did. But he was in on it. So he was, psychotic enough.
Kind of. He said it, but I'm not sure he really meant it. So that's why I say I'm not sure that he can flip the switch, but I'm not sure he can really flip the switch when it matters, because he can talk a big game, but when it comes down to it, I don't know that he would. Like, I don't think Clark Griswold would have actually went out and kidnapped his boss.
Probably not.
And, that's a line he just wasn't willing to cross. And I guess maybe that's my reason for saying he's not quite ready to flip that switch to be the psycho that you need to be. I thought a lot about this. Can you tell?
I can tell. Yeah.
Okay. Scott Calvin from the Santa Claus. I think just based on his stature and his build, he could be, but mentally, the mental side of it, I'm not sure, because he basically, nothing against working in a desk job. Like, a lot of great powerlifters work at a desk job, and that's perfect. But I haven't ever seen him get really mad. Not that you need to be able to get mad, but I'm not sure that he has that switch to flip either. Like, when push comes to shove, maybe not. I don't feel like there's enough. And I actually recently watched Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. Just to get a little more insight on this conversation here.
Because of this?
No, but I'll pretend that was the reason.
Oh, okay. All right.
That may have sparked this thought process though. But the reason I would, and nobody else agreed with me on this on Instagram, but the reason I would pick Ernest P. Worrell is because the dude has some loose screws. Okay. So he's one of those guys that you might tell him to do something or, do this training program. He's not going to know any better to not do it 100% because everything he does is just kind of haphazard, like full go. And, it gets into some situations where, I'm trying to think. So I'm trying to think of all the Ernest movies too. And I'm trying not to intermix them because I know they're all different, but there's a scene in Ernest Saves Christmas where he's got a truckload of snakes because he's got to create I can't remember the exact scene, but basically, he's pretending to be this snake farmer to sneak this person into this place. I think to sneak Santa Claus in. Anyway, I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but basically just without, he picks up a snake and, he's terrified of snakes, but he just is able to flip the switch, pick up the snake and act like he's a snake farmer and he tosses it back in the truck and acts like this real big tough guy. So I think he's got that just crazy enough side of him that he can flip the switch, quote unquote, to go to that place to do whatever he needs to do. Combined with the fact that he's a little bit shorter, most likely a lighter weight class guy just because he's kind of a smaller dude. So I think he's got some of the intangibles to make a very good powerlifter.
You've thought a lot about this. I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
So I just saw this question as I was reading it, basically. And I would go with Buddy the Elf.
Okay.
For a couple of reasons. There are some tall powerlifters that do just fine.
There are.
So I'm not going to go down that because Buddy is clearly special because he grew up in the North Pole as, the different guy, and he was okay with that, right? So he's pretty special. He also believes, and that power belief changed things for him. And I think with his power belief, he could be a world champion powerlifter.
That's a good argument that I can't really dispute because the power belief is huge, and you're right.
Huge.
He's of anybody on that list, he's the one that has it.
He believes, and I can just picture him going, deadlifting my favorite. So, yes.
How's he go?
I'm not doing it again. Nice try.
You're on to my stupid trick.
All right, so there you go. We're going to move on to the new lifter tip, and I like this. This is so true. Approach putting on a squat suit the same way you approach a road trip with a 6-year-old. Do you need to go to the bathroom? Be sure. You should try to go anyways, because once we leave, we're not stopping. Oh, that's so true.
Yep.
Although I have devised a way that I can go to the bathroom with a tight squat suit on, and it doesn't employ wetting myself.
I'm going to let's please describe how you do this.
You got to peel it down just enough. I've done this many times actually, because I have the tiniest bladder, and every time after I put on a squat suit, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. I just went, I have to go. I can't squat. Yeah. So you peel it down just enough, and then you peel it right back up. You just leave it where the legs are.
Have you ever not peeled it down far enough?
I have never peed on myself, no.
Gotcha.
Or on the suit that I know of.
that you know of.
That I know of. I mean, it might be at one point you helped me get it on. You were like, oh shit, she peed all over this, and you never told me. It could have happened.
I would have told you. Trust me. Like, yeah, I am not the guy. Find someone else.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah,
so
I think, yeah, every time people not every time, I would say there's a good amount of time people get the suit on and they're getting ready to do their first warm up in this suit. And they're like, hey, do I have time to go to the bathroom real quick? I'm like, first of all, real quick isn't going to happen. Second of all, why didn't you go right before you put the suit on? Third, like, we're getting ready. It's timing wise to do a warm up. Like, shouldn't you have thought about this beforehand? So this seems, I like comparing it to a 6-year-old because in some aspects, that's kind of what it seems like. Like you just get your suit on, you're ready to go. And then you have to stop and go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always said I'd never get involved with some kind of sport that requires you to wear like, I don't know, a diaper, basically. Because there's some sports like dry suit diving that my husband does that requires him to rig himself up so he can pee. And I was like, I'd never do that because, oh, wait, yeah. I got involved with a sport that, enough said.
Yeah, I don't believe that you ever said that. So based on knowing you, it just seems like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
Well, to do dry suit diving as a woman, it's just way no. Mm-mm.
Okay. So I'm completely naive to dry suit diving. So you're going to have to explain why you say that and what that even is.
Well, in a wetsuit, you can pee yourself and you're in a wetsuit. People pee themselves in a wetsuit all the time.
Yeah. It's just like if you're in a lake, you pee yourself in a lake.
Like you're going to pee. Okay. Dry suit, you actually want to stay dry because it's cold. And I don't like the cold. So I almost want to wear a dry suit no matter when I'm diving. But with the men, they wear a condom catheter, basically. So with a woman, there's no way to do that.
So guys do get to pee without.
Or they can wear a diaper.
Dude, we should get I want one of those just for like everyday life. So I don't have to get out of my desk or when I'm taking a road trip.
You totally can. They're cheap.
Huh.
I'll have Dan hook you up and send you a link. It involves a little bit of glue though.
Ooh.
Just saying. All right. So that was a great tangent. That's pretty normal. There you go. So let's move on to Josh's meat songs.
All right.
So for squat number 2, what's your go-to?
All right. We said squat 1 last week, squat 2 this week. Again, 2 songs to choose from. Song number 1, if I'm already feeling it pretty good, is Adrenaline Road of the Gypsy, which it's not a real popular song, but if you've ever seen the movie Iron Eagle, it's one of the main songs of that movie. And that's kind of where I heard it the first time. And I thought, man, this kind of gets me. And that's more of the emotional song for me. So there's a lyric in there that says, let's see, how's it go? There's a couple different lyrics that kind of get me, but the one that I always scroll to, like if I just need that extra little emotional surge, is it's been 20 long years and the fire's still burning. But the way they sing it, just kind of like, I don't know, I'm tearing up right now a little bit thinking about it. It's a great song. I recommend everybody go check it out.
I will have to. I'm not familiar with that song.
Yeah, it's great. The link to it will be in the description of the podcast here, so you guys can check it out. The second song is Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me, which is from The Breakfast Club.
Great song.
Yep. It's a great song. So those are my 2 for second attempt. That's where it's kind of, we're taking it up a notch, but we're not ready to go ballistic yet. So
you don't want to go crazy just yet.
Yep.
So when you listen to these songs at a time where, say, you're not at a meet.
I don't.
Right. That's what I was going to ask, if you can.
I can't, because like talking about it right now, like I'm getting chills, like just talking about it. It's not even playing. Oh. So it's one of those, like, I can't do it.
There's like 2 songs that I really can't listen to because I start getting like a physical reaction, like I'm about to.
Yeah. I can't explain it fully, but yeah, it's just like, I can't do it. Now, a couple so as we get into this later, like I have a couple like my third, we're not going to give anything away, but like my third attempt deadlift songs and my third attempt squat songs, those are actually songs that I can listen to if I'm like super hype or like dancing or super drunk, I guess. But in general, they're a little bit too much.
Dancing and super drunk.
Right. They usually go hand in hand. Yeah. So.
And I got to say, I'm looking at your list and I'm not going to give anything away, but I don't see any foreigner.
Well, if you notice, I haven't filled out bench 3 yet.
Oh, okay. All right. So
because I'm trying to make my final decisions on what I'm going to put there, because most of these attempts, there's actually a third or fourth song that is an option, but I'm trying to go with the most common ones that I use. So
there's some surprises here.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
And this has been top secret. Everybody's asked me for a very long time, and I've never actually told people what I'm listening to at the meet when I'm lifting. So this is a
closely guarded secret.
But now I'm just like, yeah, you know what? People can know, because who really cares, probably. So.
Well, and hey, it's Christmas.
It is Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Merry Christmas. And, this year's been a pretty different one. And next year, it's probably going to be pretty different too.
Yeah. Hopefully things will be, I do think that by this time next year, we will be over the hump for sure. Knock on wood. Yeah. So hopefully by then things will be like starting to look up and I guess be on its way back to how things were before.
Well, in any case, whatever our new normal is, I'm super grateful for all the opportunities I've had, and super glad to be here.
Yep.
So
same. So.
Yep. Woohoo! Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We actually, so our next episode after this will actually come out on New Year's Day. So,
so it'll be a new year.
So it'll be a new year. This is our last podcast of 2020.
Yay.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. It's like, I want to get a t-shirt that says I survived 2020, but then I feel like it's going to jinx it.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't survived it yet.
You want to make sure you actually have survived 2020 before you get the shirt.
Next week we're getting shirts.
I didn't survive 2020, and all I got was this shirt that said I did.
Yeah, that's
the ultimate irony. That would be the ultimate 2020, like kicking the junk.
They just added. You ended in a sad tone now.
No, I'm going to bring it back. So this is shifting gears completely, but and probably you don't care about this at all, but basically I just wanted to give a shout out to the Cleveland Browns. They have been my team forever. They have not clinched a playoff berth yet, and I'm hoping I'm not jinxing this here, but they have reached 10 wins for the first time since 2007. They haven't made the playoffs since 2002. So I'm really hoping this is our year. Diehard Browns fan here. Everybody criticizes me when they find out about it. So I'm not going to apologize for being a Browns fan, because I rode with them through all the decades of losing. So if the season, you're
saying this would be a Christmas miracle.
This would be on par for 2020. If the Browns made the playoffs in 2020, that would just be like the ultimate. And I even said that before the season. I'm like, the ultimate 2020 Super Bowl would be like the Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions. Because both of them have done very, very bad. So,
and then it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, the Lions they're not going to make the postseason. And the Browns haven't made it yet, so I can't jinx it there, but we're hoping.
All right. Believe, Josh.
I do.
Believe. Don't
land.
Stop believing.
It's believe land.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm glad you brought it back.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, once again, hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, PL Ballads Podcast. Shoot us an email, plballadspodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget, we are live streaming this podcast on our Instagram page, PL Ballads Podcast, every week. So check our page and find out when that's going to be, so you can be online and chime in with your comments and questions. Thanks again, guys. Merry Christmas.
Awesome. Happy New Year. See you next year. Bye now.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.